Salutations, friends. 'Tis I, Adam Jacob Burgess. You may remember me from such productions as Friend, Enemy, Lover, Catapult, and AJB, Travel With Me. I'm sure you'll agree, sophisticated works for the discerning mind. Tonight, I've been tasked with introducing more humble fare, an appetizer to our pie and mash, and a amuse-bouche to our fish and chips. It's fair to say, what my colleagues lack in natural talent is compensated for by pluck, grit, determination, and the presence of me, a published writer and writing savant. If you've not kept up, what have you been up to for the past 3 years? You've been missing out on an internet sensation whereby 5 friends, writers, confidants cobble together an ongoing script for your amusement. Okay, our friends' amusement. Okay, our amusement. Me is just for my amusement. We've mixed it up a bit from the usual format, dropping to a hard 15-page cap with a weekly turnaround. Weekly, Phil. Rest assured, the silly voices, time travel shenanigans, and racially sensitive content will remain intact. No, I will not do the Irish voice. Every time. Prick. Enjoy.
Short and sweet, thank you, Bert.
Very
well
good.
done, well
Very
done,
good.
well done.
Very nice.
Oh,
Excellent.
oh,
Excellently
man,
read. Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Was there an Irish accent written and you refused to do
No,
it? Or
no,
was
no.
it was written? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Never can tell. Never can tell.
Previously, yes.
Just says
Irish.
top. Oh, the morning. I'm not doing it.
They love it. They love it over there.
They're all doing it. They're all doing it.
I think the intro covered it. It was
Yeah,
we've
pretty
been going for a
much,
little while.
pretty
We
consistently,
mixed up a little bit,
Yeah.
and
We had the
so
It's a
we-
good return of the all-encompassing intro covering everything. It's good.
yeah,
it is quite
So,
nice.
you know,
Sort of like-
for the new viewers.
It's just-
viewers.
it's just
Anyone
what
who's
we
not been here before.
Let's figure out what to fill this
long time
video with
lurkers.
now.
Long time lurkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started this format last week with Luke's intro to the Horror's Saga.
Yeah.
Well, this is Horror's Part 2. So yeah, Luke did a sort of 15. Was it slightly over 16, 17 pages last week? And then Adam's followed that up. How have you found the writing?
15
Adam?
pages, Adam?
It comes to the end of page 15, but I've just realised that I've put in a page of yours at the start, so I might be actually 14
Oh.
pages.
That wasn't the discussion, Adam.
Cancelled.
We'll
Episode is
cut this out.
cancelled.
Start again.
Yeah.
Just pad it out.
Yeah.
Disqualified.
Improperly
Yeah.
made.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good fun actually. I think, like I said to you guys in the week, it almost makes it more challenging not having like here's start, middle, and end kind of thing. And I think I've potentially just fallen into the trap before. I'll just make that condensed into a short little bit. But we'll see. It's been fun. It's been good. Like bit of pressure hammering it out. It's been cool.
Yeah. I think it's a pleasant surprise that it's kind of like the perfect sci-fi ensemble cast sort of fare. It's kind of like the perfect plot for it, really. It's because you can pretty much go anywhere, actually you can pretty much go anywhere, introduce any kind of alien you want, as we established in last week's episode where we had a slug-like alien that we all sort of immediately were enamored by because Burge read it hilariously.
Oh God, yeah. If this isn't 15 pages of that, I'm gonna be upset.
The pact is we bring him back at some point.
So spoilers. I've resisted the urge so far.
Nice,
You resisted the Burge.
Oh,
no, the
shit.
episode is actually cancelled out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and it's just nice having it weekly. I like having it weekly. It's
I think
But
trying to have
it's been one, hasn't it? What one has been weekly?
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's
What
been
happens
nice.
next, Jolla? Who knows?
yeah. Depends whose name gets pulled.
yeah.
What?
Well, we'll be all right. We'll be fine.
It's-
We'll be fine.
If it's Yolla, it'll be 4 scripts next week.
I know,
It was me.
I'll have just I tricked you. I've actually written 40 pages. No, I will stick to the rules.
And I've stolen your voices and recorded it already.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I know this isn't the place for it, but please can you just give us a voice, Yolla? No, it's not placed
I
for it,
can't.
it's just-
It's a
as a-
different microphone. It's a total thing. And you could hear it, but the OBS couldn't hear it. So it would be like you guys would just be laughing at my regular voice, which just look like
It'd just be a
online
reaction
bullying.
video then. Yeah.
But then I could have
Sounds
them
like
hear
Elon
it,
Musk.
but then you wouldn't hear it, so it wouldn't be as fun.
Okay.
I'll set it up for next week maybe. I did think of actually just having it set up because you can like key bind it and stuff, so I might just set it up.
Maybe you
next
can
week.
read an intro as Morgan Freeman then. Just gonna
I just like we'll
confuse it,
cast Morgan Freeman as Greg. Greg in this episode is played by Morgan
Played
Freeman.
by Morgan Freeman, yes.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I've also set us up because we brought back intros. I've set us up with all the very. The spinners have become a difficult task. I just want to mention this. That the spinners have become a difficult task in that I had to properly think earlier. Who was left with the spinner to write? Who was left on the spinner to write an intro? And who was left on the spinner to read an intro? But I've managed to figure it out in the end. So we have triple spinners at the end of this.
You love spinners.
I do
What are
love
you on about?
spinners. I know,
This is,
but it feels like the spinners are becoming work. Before the spinners were like a nice hobby, and now it feels like spinners are becoming work.
I feel like this is been brought upon by your previous love of spinners, though. So it's,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of.
I do-
So
What's your favourite kind of spinner? Is it a digital spinner, a dreidel, an Euler's disc? What kind of
can't go
spinners do
wrong
you
with a
like?
physical spinner.
Fidget
Honestly,
spinner, perfect.
classic, like the one from Twister. Classic. I'd like that one. That was a really good
Right.
one. Just spin it, pick a color, you put your foot on it. Classic.
How would you
Spinners
eliminate
with
names from
rubbers.
that? Spinners, yeah.
Spinners and jumpers. The Or Something podcast.
yeah. Niche.
It looks like we've got Luke on as the guest to talk about his Udi in a world of jumpers.
Yes. Well, actually,
It's a nudie.
No,
I told you guys, it's the
my
future.
house.
It's the future.
Look, it fits my headphones.
In the Or Something boy band, Luke's the bad boy.
Yeah.
We're all the sweater wearers,
He
and
doesn't-
Luke's like,
He
"I
doesn't
can't
wear the
breathe."
uniform.
I know, yeah. He's got tattoos and a nose ring. He's the bad boy.
Goes solo first.
I know, yeah. Anyway,
To be fair, Adam fits that bill, that bun perfectly. Tattoos. You used to have a nose ring, didn't you, Bunny?
I had an eyebrow piercing. Oh, thank you very much.
No,
Get something
far
pressed.
more discerning.
Yeah,
Oh,
the gentleman's
Suited you
first.
that.
Excellent. Right, shall we delve into it?
Took a turn. Yeah, let's get back to it.
Let's get back into the script. Luke Williams, I'm going to need a sound from you, friend. Nice. I like it. Excellent.
That was incredible.
Always fresh. 40 episodes in, always fresh.
Yeah, I know. He's
Guy's
like,
got talent.
It's impressive.
yeah, I think the one thing that like has come about from this like very long project of ours is Luke is quite impressive with his like voice ability. In all fairness, yeah, he is quite good with his voices and his sounds and all that. He is.
I mean, we're all good at our voices. It's. I think it's come with confidence. Everyone's better at it, and everyone's got really good voices. Like, really, people have got the niches, haven't they? That they're really good at. Definitely, Phil with his gangster.
I don't think
That's what you leaned in on.
That's where we went.
That's where I went. Phil and his anything Cockney. Perfect.
He
Oh,
gave us
well,
Debonair
should
voice, and then
my
we
way.
were just like, "Oh, let's find any excuse to bring that voice back in
Yeah.
any capacity forever."
That's where I would have gone.
Yeah.
Well, Octopi Studio. That was Octopus had even. That was
Yeah, that
Gangster.
was gangster heavy.
I feel my niche is like, oh, that's a bit of a racy accent. Y'all all read it.
Yeah.
Y'all doesn't
New
care about
Jersey.
being cancelled. Exotic accent, y'all is your man. People do it with gusto. Fucking him doing little head bubbles and everything, and it'll just absolutely get me cancelled. This is how But Suddenly will 100% end, is a cancellation of me, and I'll bring you all down with me.
Get one
But
viewer.
suddenly they
One
were
viewer,
all
and then we'll
arrested
cancel.
for hate crimes.
Yeah.
They laughed. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we
Should
get
be
into
once reported.
it?
Anyway, are we sitting comfortably, gentlemen?
Yes, indeed.
Always.
We are sitting.
Cool. So, episode 40, Haulers Part 2. So it starts with the last page of Luke's page script.
Cool. We can look for them if you want.
Greg.
You do that for
Just
me,
looking at him.
even though we just met.
I mean, some people do say I'm a pretty neat guy.
Who?
People?
Shocking, Phil.
It's fine. It's fine. On my end, I was at the same time.
Fine.
Thank you so much. If you want, I could come with you. I've been meaning to trail back, and now seems fortuitous.
Yes, fruititious.
Fortuitous, happening by chance rather than intention.
Greg, what are you doing?
You said we needed more hands on deck. I mean...
As they converse, there is a sudden burst of noise as a whole battalion of armed people in uniforms push their way into the concourse, shouting as they do. Some people run in panic, others fall off their chairs cowering, and some just keep on working. The whole space falls into a chaotic uproar.
Great, I'll get my things.
But suddenly, the doors to the concourse slam shut and the group of heavily armed guards clad in dark uniforms begins marching through the crowd. The leader of the battalion, a towering figure in white armour, leads the group, barging bystanders out of the way as he trudges past.
Everyone, stay where you are. I don't know where I was going. We're conducting a security sweep.
Fine, yeah. The crowd parts as the guards approach. Greg, still flushed with nervous energy, looks around wildly. Sato... is Sato? Yes, Sato. Sato eyes the approaching soldiers suspiciously. K11's screen flickers slightly as if processing a set of calculations. Philo stands still, a tense look on her face, her hands balling into fists.
What do we do?
Keep calm. We've not done anything.
Yet.
The guard leader stops in front of them, his small eyes scanning over each of them one by one, a deep frown on his squished, snouty purple face.
I'm going to change the voice. State your business here.
Good decision. No, that was great.
Greg freezes, his mouth opens, but he struggles to form a sentence. K11 interjects, his voice calm and unflappable. We aren't the ones you're looking for. The guard leader eyes K11 for a moment, his gaze lingering, before he looks at Sato, Philo, and then back to Greg. His fingers hover over his weapon, but he doesn't draw it. We can go about our business. There's a brief, uncomfortable pause. Then the guard's head twitches and his stance relaxes. He steps aside and motions to the other guards to continue their sweep.
These aren't the ones we're looking for. You folks keep your eyes peeled. We've had troubling reports of unsavory characters passing through here.
The guards move past them, continuing through the bay. The tension doesn't leave the air. The moment they are out of earshot, Greg sighs deeply in relief.
Kay, was that a Judy mind trick?
Ha ha ha, scrolls across K11's face. Jedi inspired! You see, all Asteron security agents are fitted with a neural chip. It helps distill and update their orders quickly. I simply scanned the match to frequency and was able to override their primary directive and gross motor functions.
That sounds dark.
A winky emoji appears on K11's face.
That was way too close.
I know. For the time, it's suspicious, don't you think? What were they looking for?
The guards here don't like anyone they haven't seen before, or anyone they see too much. Very much anyone, really. I wouldn't take it personally.
Sato looks around, his eyes scanning the area once more. Something doesn't sit right.
No, they made a beeline right for us. Doesn't Barad have all the guards in his pocket here?
Who cares? They're gone. Let's just get out of here now.
We can't leave. They'll be all over us if we do. Sorry, I'm reading this one. Philo suddenly grabs Greg's arm.
Please, let's go. I'm scared, Greg.
Greg's eyes widen, a dumb grin spreading across his face.
Let's roll.
I really must insist we...
There's no time. Kay, you go ahead and prep the ship for immediate launch. Sato, you're with me. Keep your eyes open.
But sir...
Now, Kay!
K11 hurtles away through the crowd, his legs moving so fast they're almost a blur. Cut 2. Docking bay concourse balcony continuous. Overlooking the concourse, a lone character stands still among the thronging crowds. Vex Russo leans against the railings, watching our group. Cat-like eyes peer out from a gap in the shawl draped around their head. One pair of hands holds a set of binoculars to their face. A second pair pull out a cigarette packet and lighter from their long overcoat. Vex is effortlessly cool.
Sit rep.
I've got eyes on the prize.
Good. I trust I don't need to remind you of what's at stake here, Vex.
The second pair of Vex's hands remove a cigarette from the pack and light it. Vex takes a drag and exhales a cloud of green smoke.
I'm familiar with the necessary details.
Be sure that you are, Vex. We can't have another incident like Arthuria Prime.
Look, if you don't like the way I do business, then...
A transit of dead Arthurian senators was not part of the deal, Vex. You have no idea what.
Did I or did I not deliver?
Well, ultimately, yes, but...
Then I look forward to receiving the final installment of my fee imminently.
Vex takes another drag of the cigarette.
I trust I don't need to remind you of what's at stake there.
Vex exhales slowly, green smoke lingering in the air. The voice doesn't respond.
Now, on to this little party we've got ourselves invited to here. As I said before, as I said, eyes on the prize. And I have to say, I'm disappointed. I thought this one might have been a little fun. Nice little challenge.
After watching Greg, Sato, and Philo move off into the crowd, Vex lowers the binoculars with an air of disappointment.
Expect delivery ahead of schedule.
That's what you said on Arthuria.
Cut 2, docking bay concourse continuous. Greg, Sato, and Philo make their way through the crowd of the docking bay, heading back toward the tilt. They're alert and eye their surroundings as they walk.
We've just got to get back to the ship pronto. Seems like we're clear of the guards, so it should be smooth sailing out of here.
I'm scared, Greg.
I won't let anything befell you. Fear not.
It's befall, genius. And doesn't this all strike you as a little odd?
You strike me as a little odd.
Philo giggles and pats Greg's shoulder. Greg seems to grow taller.
Brilliant. Why was it you wanted to go to Vorgal again? Sorry, Vorgal again?
It's like I said, my family, they could be in danger with the disturbances. I'm so grateful for your help.
And we're happy to do it. Aren't we, Sato? Sato? 50-50, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Luke,
Plato.
which is it?
Sato.
Sato.
Cool.
Right.
Oh, you did Japanese, you should know that.
I know I'm terrible.
Which one have I been saying all the way through?
You've been saying Sato.
I thought I had. Yeah, cool.
It's fine, dude. It's fine.
Let's not go with it. Sato stares at Philo for a moment before grunting. He walks on. Philo and Greg follow, meandering through the bustling crowds.
He doesn't like me very much, does he?
I'm not sure Sato really likes anyone. Not at first, at least. I wouldn't worry about it.
What's his story, anyway? Where's he from? How did he come to work for you?
Sato? Man, that's a patchy story. He's rough around the edges, but he cares. One hell of a worker as well. Does a job of 4 men without complaint. Well, hardly a complaint. A great find he was. We butt heads and everything, but that's understandable given all this, I guess.
Greg gestures up and down his own body.
But Kay seems to like him, so I trust him.
What does Kay say about him?
Before Greg can answer, a floating trolley emerges from the crowd and barges into him, knocking him over. Several of the metallic cases stacked on the trolley fall to the ground, spilling their contents. Small, mottled, bluish fruits roll around the floor. Philo stares at them, alarmed, and glances around the gathering crowd.
Nobody move. Babushkin plums. They release a toxin when they feel threatened.
Greg freezes, alarmed, but clearly enjoying Philo's hand pressing on his chest. Sato is several meters ahead and watches the scene. A small, gnomish creature breaks from the crowd and approaches the spillage.
Noms!
No, stay back.
The creature ignores her and grabs one of the fruits, eyeing it greedily. It begins to pulsate in his hands before releasing a gas straight into his space. The creature's face contorts and he collapses in a heap. The fruit rolls from his grasp and reverts back to its inert state. In an instant, the crowd erupts with panic. The fruits scatter in the commotion, and bodies clamber over each other to escape the area. Soon, many of the fruits begin pulsating and spewing gas. Bodies begin collapsing. Greg cowers behind a case lid.
What do we do?
Stay low. The gas rises.
Philo flips over the back of a falling globular alien, kicks away an erupting fruit, and elegantly slides over to Greg in a single motion. She wraps her cloak around their crouched bodies and mutters some strange words to herself. The cloak momentarily pulses with the pink light, and the nearby gas is dispelled upwards in a dome.
Let's go. We'll be safe for now.
She helps Greg to his feet, and the pair move through the chaos and catch up with Sato, who looks perplexed.
What in the rings of Purd was that?
I'll explain later. Let's get to the tilt.
Sato eyes her suspiciously, but the thought is interrupted from further down the concourse. The armed guards are running back toward the commotion.
Hey, that's them. Stop.
Looks like Kay's brain frookie has worn off. Get a jog on.
Greg, Philo, and Sato race off down the concourse, dodging the sonic blaster bolts that race past them. Cut to docking bay concourse balcony continuous. Vex Russo looks down at the unfolding scene, eyes widened.
Well, I'll be damned.
Vex activates the comms.
Change of plans. Things just got interesting here. Real interesting. I'll be tracking the target away from Asteron.
Vex smiles as the comms clicks off.
This could be fun after all.
Cut to Asteron's storage room moments later. Greg, Philo, and Sato crouch behind various crates and trolleys in a storage room off the main concourse. Greg pants wildly.
Did we lose them?
Shh, sorry. I was...
He's listening.
He took it as instructions.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd already moved on to the next line. I was like, oh, that's me.
The group of armed guards charges past the entrance to the storage room without stopping.
They've gone. I think we're good to go.
Back to the tilt, you mean?
I'm not sure I follow.
Let's get back to the tilt. That's what you said back there.
So,
I'm just wondering how it is you, the doe-eyed damsel in distress, knows the name of our ship.
Greg looks confused. Philo slightly
Well-
flustered.
one of you must have mentioned.
Nope.
Well, I must have seen it some. Greg, come on. We need to go, please.
Greg looks confused for a second before his demeanour changes.
It's like I said earlier, Toots. Kay trusts him, so I trust him. What's the story?
Philo's stance changes to match. She seems instantly tougher and more confident, towering over them.
I promise I can explain everything. As soon as we're on our way, I'll answer all your questions. But we're in danger. You're in danger. More than you know. More than you would be on your usual smuggling run for Borad.
Greg and Sato exchange glances.
Good enough?
Good enough for now.
The trio slink out of the storage room and back onto the main corridor toward the airlock entrance to the tilt. Cut to docking bay airlock exterior continuous. The group arrive at a giant circular airlock door. It towers several meters above even Philo's head. Through the nearby windows, the tilt can be seen, illuminated starkly down one half, her scars and hodgepodge repairs plain to see. A long tube-like walkway joins the tilt to the docking facility. Sato heads to the control panel and begins tapping. Philo and Greg look around squirrely. After a short pause, the massive door hisses open, splitting into two halves which separate vertically. K11 comes into view on the other side, waiting for them.
Kay, boys, it's good to see you, buddy. Are we good to go? We're in a bit of a hurry.
Sir, I really must talk to you.
Not now, Kay. For once, I agree with Greg. Let's leave, then talk.
K11's face screen displays a scrolling %@ $, exclamation mark, and his arms visibly tremble. Oh, will you both shut up? Greg and Sato look stunned. Forgive me. We're not safe to leave with her.
What? Now, just a second.
We'll talk about this later, Kay. She's some kind of badass, we know. Now let's...
I have no opinion over the morality of her ass, sir. She's being followed, tracked.
Followed by who?
Whom? I'm afraid I don't know, but nobody'd want to invite the tea, I'd wager.
How do you know this, Kay?
There are encrypted signals emanating from a device in your pack, Philo. It's transmitting coordinates. Philo's eyes widen as she quickly pulls a small metallic device from her bag. Her hand trembles slightly as she examines it.
No, this can't be happening.
What is it? What's going on?
Philo stares at the device for a moment. She looks up at them, her face hardened with resolve.
This is worse than I thought. I didn't know they were this close. Look, this is getting too dangerous now. I can't ask you to do this.
The air between them thickens. Greg, still trying to piece everything together, opens his mouth to speak, but Sato cuts him off, grabbing Philo's arm.
We need to go now. No more explanations. Whoever or whatever is following us, following you, will be on us any minute.
Philo drops the tracking device to the floor and crushes it under her boot.
Greg?
Greg still looks puzzled by the whole situation. His face visibly comes to a resolution and he nods to himself.
Let's go. Kay, start her up.
The group race off down the walkway to the ship. Cut to Asteron gangway continuous. The group run down the walkway. K11 speeds ahead. Philo's long legs carry her in front of Greg and Sato.
Why the sudden change of heart? Couldn't stand her 5 minutes ago, now you're dragging her aboard. Aboard.
It's abroad.
Holiday.
I don't know. If she wanted to kill us, she would have done it by now, right? And there's something about her that it just reminds me of something, that's all. I want to help her.
I didn't know you were such a soft touch, but I'm glad to hear it.
Greg smiles and looks ahead to Philo, who glances over her shoulder and smiles back. Sato notices.
I wouldn't get too close, Greg. Just because she doesn't want to kill us doesn't mean we know everything about her.
Greg gets bashful and defensive.
What? Come off it. No way. You're crazy, man. Why? Did she say something?
Not again. Come on, Greg. This never goes well.
I'm quite sure I have no idea what you mean, sir.
Come off it. It's any woman with a pulse. And to be fair, I think only one of those is hard and fast rule.
She's different. There's something about her.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Cut to Docking Bake airlock exterior moments later. Back at the now closed airlock door, Vex Russo watches the axial tilt slowly move away from the Asteron facility. Green smoke swirls into the recycled air and a cigarette falls to the floor alongside the smashed remains of the tracking device. Vex's boot stamps out the cigarette.
Hey, that's very nice.
Nice.
Very good.
That was really good. Very, very nice.
Excuse me.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
That was perfect. I really like that you dealt with the mysteriousness of Philo quickly.
Yeah.
So it's still, I think it's an ongoing mysterious.
Yeah.
No, for sure. As in,
Yeah.
like he exposed it rather than necessarily getting on the ship and then it becoming an issue. It was dealt with then and there. I really like that.
Really well paced. I think it's a shining example of like this entire sort of like thing of like doing the 15 pages thing is the fear I had is that like you have less pages to write in, and the urge that you have to when you write for others in this sort of like environment is that you're trying to impress your mates fundamentally, and like there's this risk of like trying to impress your mates through story. So you like I was scared we'll be rushing through it and like jumping from like section to section trying to get like big action pieces and stuff in there, but it was really, really nicely paced to me. It was really, really good. Excellent.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad.
Yeah, Luke, like really cool characters. I think there was a lot to work with what you set up and stuff. So yeah, it was a really good kind of jumping off point.
I like what you did with
a couple of new bits.
I love Vex Russo.
I'm a big fan of Vex Russo.
Vex Russo's a cracking name as well. Vex Russo's a brilliant name.
Is the idea like he's got like the bounty hunter? He's after.
Yeah. I've got obviously different ideas in my mind, but essentially that he's some kind of bounty hunter. I wasn't 100% sold on which one of them he was there to actually sort of track. In the end, landed on Philo. But in theory, it could be anybody, I guess. But yeah, and obviously, who knows what his motives are? I suppose and that's key to keeping everything open and airy.
I really like K11, the sort of dryness of K11 and the delivery of it as well.
I quite like what you did with like
the more time characters get, the more the more they take shape.
It's like throwing something against a wall, isn't it? Like Luke, you introduce them, and then like like we like take them and like add little aspects to them, and then the aspects that work, we just go like, oh yeah, that's great. It kind of reminds me of like the But Suddenly, where like Adrian and James started off being like clearly Adrian was like an idiot and James was like the smarty pants at the start, but like over time they became like these nuanced characters that were like really, really interesting to write for, and I feel like similar things happening here. We just slowly add nuance to these characters.
And my favourite line is followed by who? Whom?
Really funny. And I like what you did with like Greg and Sato. I really like what you did with Greg and Sato. Is that like there's like this burgeoning respect that I like. Like it wasn't really necessarily present in the first one because in the first section you would introduce them as sort of like adversarial because you want to establish them as butting heads, but it's like nice that there's also like this underlying level of respect between them as well. I quite like it. Yeah, it's really smart, and I like that you were kind enough And like something like I keep telling myself, you know, like you don't have to always resolve something in your script. You could just sort of like let one of them resolve it. And I really like that, like, you know, Philo had like the weird cape power thing, and that was like sort of like left mysterious. And then like at the Asterion stuff, and you sort of like left it like you introduced it. I was like, oh, someone else can like take that, and I really sort of like.
I think it's just adding little sort of hints of something, I guess. Like, it's weird. It feels a lot like when we very first started. It's like, well, I've got clear ideas.
Yeah,
I'm sure Luke did when he wrote it. Very much, I'm sure, had clear ideas about who these people were, where they're going, what they were doing, and I've got my ideas about who these people are and where they're going.
I was literally just waiting to ask you that. Actually, it's like, when you're writing this, and it reminds me of the early days of this, where it's a little bit more contained stuff, and it's like, how much are you thinking ahead, or how much are you thinking about Philo and what their role might be and how suspicious they are, / are you just kind of putting out there, or you think you reckon you've got an idea of where things could be going?
I'm not saying I've got an idea of where Luke
I'm not asking what your idea
is, but I think I've got ideas about, well, this is who I think this person is, but as always that will be bashed out of the water next week, I'm sure,
with time travel
when they go back in time.
Yeah, you read my mind.
Go back in time, all the debonair comes back.
What's up,
suckers? The debonair.
So it's weird. It's weird, like having to flesh them out and kind of, well, here's this new character who has got his own motives, but then next week they could be kind of all over the place. So it's weird, but very fun.
It is cool. I feel like every one of our like eras has sort of like led up to like us going back to sort of like the original format to a certain degree, but like being better off because of those eras. Like the thing that I always remember is the Chateau saga. Is like most of that was just sort of like leaving breadcrumbs for someone else to pick up. Like we had like chefs sort of like whispering in the background, and then they become like main characters later on and stuff. It's just, and then like,
I think this format suits that, doesn't it? And I think definitely, especially with the 15-page and not being able to tell a full story, it's kind of it's just going to be kind of touching on things and seeing what breadcrumbs people pick up on.
Yeah. But excellently read, you guys. Luke, that was perfect. Exactly what I imagined for Vex. So very cool. Well done.
Was it what you imagined for the Nom Nom's gnome?
More or less, yeah.
Total misinterpretation on that one.
Yeah. So Slug Alien's coming back. Nom Nom Gnome is coming back 100%.
Yeah. And then traveling through time.
Yep. Time travel. No, I'm banning myself from time travel. Maybe.
Does that leave us with the query of who is next?
Yes.
Just before we move on, one thing I thought was really interesting about reading it was that it could have been like a PG, like Star Wars-esque, like sci-fi thing. That part of the way through, it's like, looks like Kay's brain fuckery is what happened. I was like, there we are.
There it is.
Yeah.
It took 7 pages.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I literally had a kind of an argument with myself about this, because I think it might have been that line where I was like, I want him to swear, but then I had to go back and check Luke's to see if there was any swearing in it, because I had the same thought process, like, what's the tone? But Luke did have an F-bomb in his at one point.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
So that left it kind of open. But no, I had the same thought process, like, we being quite like, because there were a couple of like funny lines, but I was consciously trying to not make it just like goofy for the sake of it all the time as well. So it was weird trying to find the tone, and that was definitely part of it. Like, how much are these guys going to be swearing at each other like we've done constantly in previous things?
Yeah.
So I did try to tone it down, but then I had to get.
I thought it was like really, really well paced, and also the tone was amazing, because it's like, I'm so guilty of just getting people to swear because it's funny. It's a cheap laugh, but sort of like holding back, reining it in, and just having like, it was really enjoyable, just like Luke's was, it's just like a proper like Star Wars-esque Firefly. They're like, there's no swearing in them,
It's interesting though, because I feel like you've set the marker there, you two, as like having a fairly consistent tone, whereas like obviously previously we've spoken about completely left field in it and things going batshit. But I don't know, I don't feel the pressure, but I feel like it's almost a challenge now to try and maintain that tone. And have it be consistent. Whereas I don't know, but it's not no prerogative to do that, I guess. But it's interesting to see where it'll go.
One thing that I really like about this, though, is this is I mean, we've never really written a sci-fi before together, but this is everybody's wheelhouse in the sense that a lot of the media that we've consumed over the years, this is a very focal point of that. So I feel that this is a comfortable place for everyone to be when they come to writing. I think it was right near the beginning, Adam. You had quite a technical block of writing, and I thought, that sounded fantastic. It was there, K11, Judy inspired. It was like with a neural chip, still update orders quickly, override their primary directive and gross motor functions. I thought that just sounded so nice because that fits into the paradigm of a lot of things that have come before it.
Yeah. I also like that element of it is kind of like it built like the cool thing about like the entire But Suddenly concept is that you're essentially like building on what comes before you. So it's like you're just like stacking on. And if you like make reference to something that came before is really, really good. So I really like the sort of like comparison that we already have in only 2 episodes where Luke's fundamentally starts with a Star Wars reference, is that they're recreating a Star Wars scene. And then we have like the Jedi mind trick in the second one. It's kind of like just sort of like steadily building on like this sort of like world in the periphery. It's really cool. I really like it. Excellent work.
I was super intrigued by your kind of headcanon, Luke, on that. Like, so have they somehow watched a version of Star Wars like years ago, or is it like my Star Wars been recreated in this universe? Or
Star Wars was such a cultural phenomenon, and this in my headcanon, this is set like this long time in the future, not hundreds of years, but equally it was such a cultural phenomenon that some trace of it has passed through. Like when I originally wrote that scene, I think I wrote it so as if it ended there, like Luke just died, like at that point, and that scene maybe that was all that they had.
That's how I interpret it as well. Like it had become a fable in this world. Like it had become
and do you know? And what inspired me to do that is, have you any of you must have seen? I know Adam's seen Reign of Fire. So there's a scene in Reign of Fire where obviously society's gone, where the Gerard Butler and Christian Bale are acting out Star Wars, and it's like dark helmet looks into the eyes of the, and it was really lovely, and I thought, and that that's what inspired that really.
I just love the play on the kind of mispronounced words that you had, so hence Jedi mind trick. But I didn't know how you were going to pronounce it, Yola, and then I'd realised that I'd put the same line like back at you afterwards, so I had to just basically wait for you to say it so I could say it back in the same way. So is he going to go Judy? Like Judy?
I was going to go Judy. Like I was like Judy Greer. It's like the Judy Greer mind trick.
Judy mind trick.
Judy mind trick.
No, it was great. Really, really enjoyable that. Excellent work, boys.
Guys.
Spinner
time. Luke Williams, give me a sound. Okay, you guys can't see the spinner, as always, unfortunately.
We can see the spinner, Yellow. We can see the spinner.
Oh, yeah. Wait, actually, you know what? I thought of this last time. There is nothing stopping you from seeing the spinner. It is now visible to you on Skype if you'd like to see the spinner. So I have 3 spinners. The first spinner determines who's writing the main bulk of the episode next week. Second spinner determines who's writing the intro next week, and the third spinner dictates who's reading the intro. I think I've got it right in that the people that are left to write are Burge, Yol, and Phil for like the first half of it. The people that are left to write the intro is Burge, Adam, Luke, and the person who's left to read is Adam, Luke, Phil.
I read last week.
You read last week. That's meant to be my name. Sorry. There we go. Excellent. Almost got out of doing it, but
this is complicated. You're right. This is complicated.
Gosh damn it. Okay, I am going to spin the spinner.
Spin that Pokemon.
And time travel. No time travel. I think it's going to be Burge.
Oh, nice.
Burgess. A little round of applause for Burgess.
Oh, that's a little applause. I like it.
Nice. The applause is always there.
We got Roberts off next week.
Yeah, Roberts off. That'll be fun. Right, next is who's writing the introduction next week. Burge shouldn't really
Burge.
be here. Yeah. Necessarily, it's a lot of work.
I could do it.
Okay, all right, okay. It's going to be an all Burge
Respect
episode.
the spinner, Yola.
Respect the spinner. The spinner says, "Oh, yeah, we've got an all Burge episode." And
witness me, guys.
Burge square.
And then who's reading it? Thankfully, Burge isn't on this one.
Yeah, get my name back on there. Go on.
And go.
Get him on.
Sweet, I've got now. Does it? Adam, you are reading.
My fellow
the
Adam.
introduction.
The Adamsburg.
Adam's. It's an
Adamsburg
all
episode.
Adam episode next week. Well done. Well done, boys. That was a thoroughly enjoyable episode.
Efficient.
Yeah, really, really good.
Nice, yeah, really nice. Finishing before 10. Wow, look at us.
Oh,
So
look at this.
efficient.
Before we go,
Weekly
Burge, have you got any thoughts marinating around what you might do, where you might go?
It's already written it.
Yeah.
Slug based.
Excellent.
Mollusk.
I think I might as well, if I'm writing both, I might as well lean into it. I'll do the intro. I'll write it from the perspective of a slug as well. I'll read it out, and then I'll just do a 15-minute slugathon.
Love it.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either.
That's a no.
Yeah.
Philip, quick maths. So, how many episodes can we fit in before Christmas now?
It depends. Depends how it works with my travel. It's like 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Including
5,
this one.
isn't it?
So, yeah. So yeah,
Next
4,
week
4. Christmas is a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes. So
It is indeed.
yeah, so Boxing Day.
So are we doing Boxing Day?
Yeah,
I am happy to do Boxing Day.
I'm travelling, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's quite difficult for me as well then.
We can leave the admin till the recording's over, should we? Or...
Yeah,
Sort that out
they
later.
love it. This is what they love. They love behind the scenes admin work.
Actually, yeah. So we've only got.
Patreon content.
Yeah, there's only 3. There's only 3 then, isn't there? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is extra.
Wait,
Cheers, guys.
I'm waving, guys. I'll just wave until all you
Who
wave.
are we waving at? Who did you wave at?
I know. Bye, no one.